What is up, guys? My name is Emlyn. Welcome to Whine and Yap. I am so stoked to introduce my guest today, Celesta.
Hi, guys. My name is Celesta.
I was going to say we should tell them how we met
Okay.
and, like, where it all began. Like, how we got to know each other, how we got into each other's lives. We're also, like, semi-new friends, but it feels like you've been in my life for 1,000 bazillion years.
When did we actually meet?
We were introduced by our mutual friend, Laura Morano, and Laura was on a show, Austin and Ally, and Laura's co-star, Calum, is Celesta's boyfriend. Can you do the math like that?
Yeah. And Laura and I became friends through that. I kind of stole Laura from Calum a little bit.
Which I love because
Yeah.
it's giving girls girl.
No, it is.
Well, and also Celesta is picky with people that she likes. So Laura was like very careful and being like, who?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, Laura texted me and she's like, I'm going dancing, which I don't do either.
Neither
she was
do
like,
I never go dancing.
Like, we don't.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going dancing with my friend Maggie. Do you want to come? And for some reason,
That's
I was
me.
like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maggie Emlyn.
Emlyn's also Maggie.
I do have a question, though. When you first met me, what was your first impression of me? Did it, like, take long for you to be like, no, I fuck with this bitch?
Well, you were in all black and had
Sweet.
like combat boots on, and I was like, okay, twin. And let's be real, Laura is very overly nice and sweet and
Yes.
like bubbly.
Yes.
And you're not that bubbly.
Yeah,
like
but
you're very kind and sweet, but you are in no way like,
True.
oh my god, hello. Like that's just not you.
And neither are you, which is so
Mhm.
funny because I guess I would have assumed that someone Laura's introduced me to would have been more like her, but the way
Right.
that we're actually just the same.
I know. Well, and obviously, I think that's why she did it, but
Yeah.
it worked either way.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, when I met Celesta, oh my God, I could go on and on for like how deeply I felt so connected to her. But I know, literally, I'm not going to cry on this episode, I swear. Instantly, I could tell that you were like such an honest, like opinionated, baddie behavior energy girl. That made sense to me.
Thank you.
And I too am picky about who I like to surround myself with. And I was just like, I think honestly, the first moment for me was I felt insecure about my body that night when we were going out. And I was like, I don't know if I
remember.
look good in this outfit. Like, what do you think? And you were just like so genuine and like real in your response. Like, it wasn't like, yeah, girl, you look like, which I love sometimes a
yes,
little bit of hype.
absolutely.
But it was like, no, genuinely, you look fantastic. And I wouldn't just tell you that.
You were picking between two skirts, right?
Yeah.
And the answer that everyone else would give meeting you 5 minutes would be like, they both look amazing. I was like, wear the second one. It looks just a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
and now you look amazing.
Yeah. And I just like admired your honesty so much, like right off the bat, because I'm like that. And I don't really meet a lot of people that are like that, like us.
No, I don't. We don't.
Which, like, because I get it. It's scary to like someone you're brand new meeting to be like, oh my God, yeah, not that one. But I would
Especially
be like,
here,
no.
like
Yes.
in this city. It's,
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And by the way, you look so freaking cute. I'm obsessed.
Thank you. We're so fuzzy and it's making me so
Like, we're being onesie cute.
Fashion Nova comes
cozy.
through when it comes to the comfy onesies.
Love. Obsessed. So I wanted to tell you guys our relationship statuses because today's episode is going to be about like relationship and dating hot takes. So I am single, as I mentioned before. Celesta is in a relationship.
I'm in a 9.5-year relationship.
9.5 years.
In April 2025, it will be 10 years. We
Literally
met in
insane.
2015. I know. Crazy. I think we have the
That's like
longest
almost a
relationship in
decade.
LA. Yeah.
No, for sure you do.
I think we do. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I spent some time scouring the internet, trying to come up with some good hot topic questions for you, and I want to get your thoughts. I'm going to share mine too.
Mhm.
I'm going to start off with one that is crazy controversial,
Let's do it.
but I think it is. I don't know. You might be like, absolutely not. Okay, so I want to know: do you think girls and guys can just be friends?
I actually have a really interesting take on this because if it was not for one friend that I have, I grew up in Chicago and there's one friend in Chicago that is a straight male
Okay,
who's been my friend for like
what's his name?
shout out Frankie Garcia. Love you 5 ever. He is the only guy friend that I can like think of that I was like best friends with,
Yeah.
still am, that really never tried to sleep with me.
Yeah.
So if it was not for him, I don't know if I'd believe it, but we have a genuine like relationship. We are best friends.
Yeah.
He's been there through everything.
Well, what do you think about like your boyfriend having friends that are girls?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I first met him, I was newly 21, so
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly mature by any means. And it used to bother me because also he was actively on Disney Channel at the time, which they have some fans.
Yeah, some clout.
It was like a little while to get used to. But no, I mean, he's just, yeah, we both have a lot of friends that.
Yeah, I also feel like you and Caleb in particular are so like kind and just like loving to people in general. Like I would have a tough time. Like I'm a jealous bitch, okay? I'm just gonna tell her the truth. My ex-boyfriend having girlfriends did not go well for me, which is crazy because I have guy friends that are really close with me too. I really do. Like I have, in particular, I have one guy friend that I think is literally like the exception to the rule in the sense that like we have never ever thought about like it being something more. He's in a relationship. Also, his girlfriend is a supermodel, so like,
ooh,
love that.
Go him. Yeah.
And also in their relationship, they're so unfazed and like unworried about like having girlfriends or guy friends.
Well, he's got to be comfortable. She's a supermodel.
Exactly. So he and I actually really are like truly just good friends. And then I have like a couple other guy friends, but I still feel like because I'm honest in the fact that like I'm single right now, in the back of my mind, are there people that I'm friends with, guy friends with, who I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of human. But because I know that with my boyfriends, I'm like, ooh. There's one person in particular that comes to mind with my ex that I just wanted to, like, I was like, you're not a girl's girl. You do not, like, I met her in the context of this event where like I had heard about her, but I didn't know her yet. And when she saw my boyfriend at the time, she like jumped on him and like gave him a
like
I
the,
know,
like the hugs.
Yes. And I was like, ooh, I'm not, and didn't acknowledge me at first either.
Let me say, every single girl in the world ever,
yeah,
knows not to do that to someone who has a girlfriend. And if you say you don't, you're lying.
And the worst part is like she knew I was there because right after she's like, oh my god, I've heard so much about you. I don't know. I don't know.
She could have been like the greatest person. I mean, she could have won like a Nobel Peace Prize. It's fine. But then don't do that. Just that.
Yes. And then to add to it, like he gave me the context of like, oh yeah, like we're always like in relationships at the same time. So we've just like, we've never been single at the same time. So I'm like, so is that why you haven't hooked up?
What is that supposed to mean?
I know. I think he was the problem. A boy being the problem? Shock.
Wow. That's never happened.
Okay. So you think yes, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, circle back around. I
think so too.
Caleb's best friend that he grew up with is female.
Okay.
And
growing up
was
too is like
her
family.
best man.
Oh, okay. See,
or wait, no, man of honor.
Man of honor
on her side.
Yeah.
So and they like those two are actually brother and sister for what, like when I see them, it's the vibe, it's the whole thing. Like
I think when you grow up
together
with someone that is super possible.
And I've never remotely thought anything. She's married and has kids and
that helps. I will say, like, I think it's actually completely possible if both sides are in relationships too. I just think it's a little dicier when one is single.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying no. I just think it's dicier.
I think there's a lot to say about if they're both single, what would happen, which is why that's so weird that your ex was like, I'm single. Okay, thanks. I didn't ask.
And then every time they would go out together, I'm like, okay, so the only reason you're not hooking up with her is because
you never had the chance.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'll leave.
Oh, and get this.
No.
Yeah, you're not ready.
I'm not.
The very next time that anybody saw him out in public after we broke up, guess who he was with?
Her.
Yeah.
What, do you know if they ever dated?
No, I have no idea. But I'm like, what are the odds that you're at this event with this girl? Come on.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
I'm going to start off by asking you, like, what's your love language?
Gift giving.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually my worst. I'm terrible at giving gifts.
Wait, didn't we just have this conversation?
Maybe,
you literally just told me.
Yeah, I'm so bad.
At Laura's birthday party that I'm so good at giving gifts and you were like,
so
I'm awful.
Yes, because that was a perfect example of like, I literally got it like the day of and I was like, I don't even know if she's going to like this.
Yeah, I put like weeks into it and wrote her like a letter. I swear to God.
No, because I'm usually really good at cards, but if I get a present last minute, like it's not going to be much.
Right. No, fair. But yeah, that
I wrote her like a sentence in her card. And I love this girl, like to my whole soul.
Hey.
It's just not how I show my love.
Yeah. I like showing things in texts, not like text, like writing it out or even typing it out.
Yeah.
And just like putting it somewhere else that's not my mind is really helpful for me.
I do like sending like a nice like thinking of you text too, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not gift giving for me. How do you receive love?
Protection.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I which is so funny because like I think I'm scarier than my boyfriend. Really, like I don't think it like if we're like outside walking on the street and a man comes up to me, I think I'll scare the man away before my boyfriend does. But that is just because my boyfriend is like the sweetest, calmest little like angel baby. Now he has gotten upset and mad on my behalf. Like, But yeah, like I like feeling protected.
Yeah. I
like emotionally.
That makes sense too. What I know about like your family too, just like being from an Italian household and having like, protective.
There was always my birthday parties. You know, whenever some of my guy friends have gotten out of line or say something to a woman, there's always a man that's like, get out of here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also I feel like you can be really protective too.
I am, naturally. I try to pretend like I'm not, but I totally
am. Like very protective.
Yeah.
My love language, I'm going to say, I always get a little tied up on this one because I feel like it's a combination of things for sure. I used to think it was physical touch and quality time, but the more I'm understanding like my attachment style and my anxiety, I'm realizing like words of affirmation is huge. But you can't just like be spewing words at me and then no follow through.
Give me an example of words of affirmation.
Like, I really like it if I like show up to a date and I like put work in and I feel pretty for like a guy or a girl, if it's gonna be a girl, to be like, you look amazing. And like not just to assume that I know that. Tell me, you know?
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yes, it does.
You know?
No, it definitely does.
Or like I'm really anxious like about I haven't seen you in a couple days. Is everything fine? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm just going through that's communication actually. So I don't know if that's just good communication.
Yeah.
But I do really need like the words. I need to hear someone be like, I love you, or I need to hear someone be like, you're amazing, you're so talented. I need things, words.
Yeah.
And I definitely am big on physical touch.
I'm not.
Really?
No, I hate being touched.
Well, what's funny is I grew up hating being touched. I think I'm only physical touch in romantic relationships.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because my mom, like, apparently when I was little, like, when I would be upset, she'd like go to give me a hug and I'd like fight her off physically. Like literally like hit her in the face, like to get her out, not to touch me. She said I've been like that since I was like out of the fucking womb though.
So when did you start liking to be touched?
Honestly, we want to get really into the nitty gritty. Probably psychologically has to do with the fact that like my dad wasn't really around very much growing up. And that's a man's touch. If like, you want to get real about it, but
like finally feeling that validation.
Yeah,
as a
I think it's like, oh wow, this is what it feels like. Yeah. But that's giving, fair. I think I'm really good at acts of service, but sometimes I have a tough time figuring out like what somebody needs. But like I ran to Laura has strep right now, and I brought her soup yesterday. Like things that are easy, and I'm just like, oh, I want to like make life easier for you. That's like how I get love.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I like that.
You know,
that's like it falls in line with gift giving, like doing something for people.
Yeah.
Except I don't like doing things, so it makes sense that I would go buy the things,
right,
and then give them to.
But you don't just buy cool stuff. You're also like really thoughtful about like the gift.
I just really like to do it. Like when I was a kid growing up, I would buy my parents' Christmas gifts, and then I would give it to them early because I like couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And then Christmas morning would come and I would cry because I had nothing for them to open. And they were like, well, we told you this was going to happen. Like,
oh my God. I love that so much. Well, also though, I wear this all the time. You got for me.
That makes me happy.
It was the first, it was just brand new having gotten to know me, and you like nailed it. You are good at gift giving.
I didn't even know if you were going to like it. But
have you ever been in a situation where like your partner now or before, whatever, like doesn't receive love the same way that you give it or anything, or vice versa?
It's more of like, if my boyfriend doesn't like a gift I give him, for instance, I don't get my feelings hurt. I actually prefer if he tells me the truth so that he can utilize whatever I do give him.
Yeah.
But I do need it to be like noticed. Like because I'm always up later than Caleb and he's always up earlier than me. It's just like the way we work.
Yeah.
And whenever I end up going to bed, I know that he's going to like come in the kitchen first thing in the morning and make coffee. And so by the coffee maker, I put a little note and I just say like, have a good day or love you or something. Like that's my love language. And then like if I wake up and I'm like, hi, and he's like, hey, and he doesn't say anything, I'm like, did you get my note? And he's like, yes, I did. I did. Thank you so much. And I'm like, it's note number 2,877.
But every time you put time into it.
Say thank you.
Yeah. No. I actually completely agree with that.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, that's kind of extra.
No, I actually totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Because if you took the time to write a note, you're like, just notice it.
Often in the trash will be like 4 or 5 drafts of said note because I want it to be perfect. Do you know what I mean? I swear to God.
so
It's like so many drafts.
Okay, that's really wholesome. I love that. I will say with my ex, like one issue I had was like I said, I was really good at acts of service for my love language, and he was like really particular about what he actually needed help with or how he needed help. So I felt like there was a way that like if I tried to help, I was actually just getting in the way and like didn't work well.
Yeah.
So like I could see that was a clash for sure.
That's just conflicting love languages.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because that's no one's fault.
Right. Exactly. But and also we were long distance, so like I know.
You should have led with that. Like that's a whole other.
I know.
Topic.
But like I was saying, words of affirmation and physical touch are my love language. So if you're not giving me the words and I'm not seeing you, that relationship's gonna go downhill real fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that like love languages, if they're mismatched, can be like, I think it can be tricky. But I think you can find a way to work through them if you like learn how to give love the way that the person that you're with wants to be loved. Okay. My next question. What do you think counts as like a long-term relationship?
I think like 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I think 1 year I'm like, that was a relationship.
Well, that would make sense because I've been in a relationship for 10 years and you are not. So that, But
in my like dating journey though, whenever I ask somebody like if you've been in a relationship, if they haven't been in a relationship at least a year, they've not been in a relationship in my mind.
Oh, yeah. A year is.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Before I met Caleb, I've never gotten to a 1 year anniversary with anyone.
Well, you were 21.
I know. But
neither had I.
Through high school though, like.
That's fair. Yeah.
Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, I was 21.
You were a baby.
Well, I just remember everyone making me feel so like shitty about that.
I was a little late to things too, like in high school. People made me feel lame about losing my virginity when I was 17 as opposed to 15 and 16.
Okay, first of all, relax. That's literally like 300-day difference. Calm down.
Yeah,
number
I know.
one. Number two, that is like we really have to change that.
I know.
In teens. Like you can't bully someone for not having sex. That's
right?
ridiculous.
Like, but I remember feeling very much like behind.
It does kind of carry on to adulthood, though, when people like brag about having sex all the time.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, we only have sex like this many times. And they're like, oh my God, really? It's like, shut up.
Shut up.
Just shut up. Mind your business. What is it affecting you? How much that couple has sex?
Yeah.
What do you care?
Yeah. It's like a contest in moments. Like people are like, oh, well, I do it this many times a week. Oh, that's not a lot. Oh,
congratulations.
Cool.
And then people ask things like, are you sure you guys are okay? Get the fuck out of here,
Meanwhile, they like can't communicate. They literally can't have like a two sentence conversation without like
I know,
at each other.
I know.
But we have sex every day.
I see these people have this conversation all the time.
Yes.
Like every time I'm out, I see girls have this conversation and it kills me. I'm like, and people ask me, I'm like, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, I am very different in this way though. I will say, I grew up with two friends that were like super, super open about sex to the degree of like, I think I'm so comfortable with it that people are a little bit like, whoa, girl, relax. Because my friend was like that growing up and like they were like that. So I just think I figured that was what was normal. And then I grew up and everyone started talking about sex and I'd be like, yeah, and then he stuck it in my ass. And they're all like, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Oops.
I mean, what?
But I also have another person that I have to.
True. I think it's easier to talk about when you're single because you're like, it could be in reference to anybody. Too.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I guess, I don't know. But I've never been one to like have that conversation.
Yeah, that is a really unique position to be in because it's like if we were to sit down and be like, oh, what have you done? Like, I know who you're talking about for the last 10 years.
And like, you'll probably see him later.
Yeah. And now I think about I don't want to know.
Like, and then later when we're all eating Chinese and make a table, it's going to be weird. Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like you have to tell your partner everything in a relationship? This is a good question for you, being in a relationship for like nearly 10 years.
This is a really good question. And actually, Caleb and I were having this conversation like somewhat recently. I think that you have to tell them everything that is important.
Yeah.
And when people are like, well, what's important? You know what's important. Yeah. And you can say you don't know what's important, but you're lying, and that's fine. You can lie. Yeah. I've lied to myself. It's okay. So tell them things that are important,
I agree.
But only things that happen from the time your relationship starts on. Yeah. I think anything that happened prior to your relationship with that person is...
I definitely agree with that. I don't want to know who you're with.
Well, it just doesn't matter. Like, you didn't know I existed.
Right,
so,
right.
And I didn't know, like, what.
But I also don't want to know.
Like, a lot, like, some of my girlfriends, I hate to, like, put my friends on blast, low-key, but, like, they have been mad at their boyfriends for like finding photos of their exes
from way before.
yeah. And I'm like, well, you were non-existent at that time, so I don't know what you're upset about.
Yeah, but also I don't know, I have seen and heard of a couple instances where people are like, oh, I found a photo from 2015 of him with this girl, and I'm like, do you think I don't even know what's in my phone from 2015.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And also, just because there's a photo doesn't mean you're like on the phone with her.
Yeah. Precisely.
You know?
I was talking about in episode 1, like I have a lot of girlfriends that got into relationships, and all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't tell them anything. So they're like, oh, well, I tell my partner everything. I'm sorry. Really? Everything? Like, I don't want to think that if I'm telling you, Celesta, everything about this guy that I'm dating, that you're relaying everything to Caleb.
Like those TikToks that are like when you tell me something,
right? Yeah,
I'm like, that's not cute.
No, I agree. Like,
right. And with that said, like, do I love getting home? And I'm like, Caleb, what's what happened today? Yeah.
Right. And sometimes like it's just gossip. But I used to do that with my ex too. Like, but I do think that like if it's something like, hey, this is really like private, like don't share this, like a girl, and the girl goes, oh, well, I tell my boyfriend everything.
No, I would literally walk away from her.
Literally. I can't. But
and men are really, really judgmental too.
Yes,
like,
I know.
They straight up will not look at that girl the same if you tell her some shit.
And they gossip too.
They do.
Oh my God. The fact that men are like, oh yeah, girls are such...
biggest misconception ever is that men are not catty.
Yes.
A, yes, they are. B, yes, they talk about everything. C, they bitch and moan equally as much as we do. It's just like in different forms in different places.
Also, they do talk shit and they do gossip about their friends and stuff.
Yeah, they talk a lot of shit about each other. I find it hysterical, personally.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Nice. I can't tell you how many times, we guys, we don't talk about this stuff. Yeah, you do. I've literally overheard it like 1,000 times.
Like, yeah, I don't want to hear a guy conversation.
I know.
They get deeper than we do. Sometimes.
Agreed. And meaner.
That's kind of why I like watching the Bachelorette versus The Bachelor, which is like super, people don't agree with me.
No, I actually am so on this page with you. I prefer Bachelorette. I want to hear the male drama.
Because men are like, everyone's like, well, women are so catty. And I'm like, yeah, but like I grew up like that and I live it every day of my life. What I do love to see and find extremely entertaining is how dramatic
the drama
these men are. It's like a week or two into the show and they're like
throwing punches. I'm like, you
really thought she was my wife. I'm like, you thought she was your wife. There's like 25 other men here.
Yeah.
When a girl does, like, yes, the girls are equally as dramatic, I will say, but all they do is cry.
Yes.
The men are like, they start questioning their lives. Like, they're like, will I ever have a wife and kids one day? Like, I might just give up on everything. The ones that are sober are like, I don't know, I might relapse. Like, they literally, like, they just, their life is, from what it seems on the show.
Yeah. That's my preference too. I always prefer Bachelorette. But yes, I do think, end of the day, I do think that you do not have to tell your partner everything. But I agree that the important stuff, like you can't use that as an excuse to like cheat or do something crazy. Like,
yeah.
Or keep a really serious secret. Like you gotta tell them.
Right.
Especially if it's somebody that you're planning on like starting a life with. Like if you have credit card debt, you can't go be like, oh, surprise, 2 months into your marriage.
I think
like,
you'd be surprised at how many people do that.
I know. Because it was their problem and only their problem for a while. And then all of a sudden, like, it's the realization that it becomes our problem when you're sharing finances.
And once you're married, you like kind of can't get out of it. And I feel like that's when a lot of people are like, yeah, which is like terrible. Like, it's so awful.
Yeah, it is. One strong argument I'm going to make for this, though, is like, you don't need to tell your partner something just because it's weighing on you, like the guilt, if it's actually not going to help them in any way.
I completely agree.
Oh, yeah. Perfect example. Let's say Caleb came home with the worst haircut on the face of God's green earth. I mean, so bad, like you're like, You can tell him, sure. But it's going to grow back. Like, do you have to?
All it's going to do is hurt his feelings.
Exactly. So I'm going to lie, personally. If it were me.
I don't want to say that's happened, but he has this pair of shoes that I just find
example. You just hate them.
Heinous.
Yeah. I want to see them so bad.
I wonder if we can like get an image pop up like right here.
This is them.
They're literally just they're like tropical themed. It's just, they look like they're from a Fruit Loop commercial.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
Ridiculous.
I love that. He doesn't wear them to like fancy things though.
No, they're literally like
just everything.
Sneakers. Yeah. But I'm like, can you get them out of my home?
Yeah. Okay. Another interesting question I stumbled upon when I was on Reddit Can you think of some non-sexual forms of intimacy that make you feel closer to somebody that you're with? I can start if you want.
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. I really love a good massage that doesn't turn into sex. Like, just get that massage oil and you just like feel someone super in tune with your body. Granted, this is a physical form of intimacy, but I still think it's like, if you can just keep it like, yeah, I just want to make you feel some like stress relief right now. Like, I just want you to feel better. I think that is like, so, I mean, accidentally I'm turned on at that point. I didn't even mean for it to turn into sex. I'm like, okay, let's have sex.
It's not the massage that turned you on.
No. It's the fact that it's like, oh, I feel closer because this person's like caring for me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's one for me.
I'd probably say like reassurance.
Yeah.
In physical form in public.
Oh,
I know that's like so like
that's such
particular,
a good answer.
But like
no, that is such a good answer.
Like,
I love
that.
Like
obviously, it comes up that we're at parties as it does, and we get separated.
Yeah,
Caleb and I, and like he'll be all the way over there. But like if he like walks by me and like grabs my hand, I just love it. And he can go on and I, you know, or even like wink at me across the bar or something. I just think it's like really cute.
I love that so much. Or like if you're walking or whatever and they just subtly put like their hand around your waist or something.
Yeah.
Pull
like,
you in a little bit.
Yes.
Like,
or like guide you. Yeah. That's
love.
That's like intimate to me. Because there is, I'm sure you have, just like every other girl has, and guys, like sometimes you get physically touched and like led through a crowd by a man.
Yes.
And you're like, do not
don't
like
touch me.
You don't want to be touched in that area because it's like a very vulnerable area for us.
100%.
And I hate that at parties when guys try to like move it, like, oh sorry, like scoot over. I'm like, oh my God.
Nothing makes me more mad. Oh, and the worst thing is it's like such a subtle like excuse to just be, oh, so sorry. They like hand around your waist.
I can't.
So sorry. I was just passing by. And they like look back at you and you're like, fuck you.
Luckily,
you're just looking for an excuse to touch my fucking waist. Like
I can't tell if that's going away or if I'm just getting older. Because I bet if we go to a party with a bunch of 18-year-olds, we'll see the dudes doing that.
No, I had somebody do it like less than a year
Oh, that's
ago.
nice. Yeah. Okay. So
and I never go out.
Great. Great.
I'm trying to think if I have any other ones. Oh, you know what's another one I love? Sorry, this just came to me.
What?
This is crazy, actually. I want to know everything you had to eat.
Oh my God. My cousin is like this. My cousin will text me and she'll be like, what did you eat? Can you send me a picture? Where did you get food from? I'm like, can you stop, weirdo?
No, I'm dead ass. Like, end of the night, I want Pillow Talk to be like, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Run me through it.
You're so weird.
Oh. What did you have for lunch?
Are you actually asking me?
Yeah.
What today? Like I think it's Caesar salad. Chicken.
I love that.
Caesar salad.
I feel closer to you.
Nothing special. I feel close.
Okay, this is a crazy one. And I'm gonna be shocked. Actually, I have no idea what you're gonna say, but I think I do. Do you think that your partner should be able to comment on your body? You've been with someone for 10 years, so I think like perhaps
I'm a big person on it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
And I do think that if you are asking an honest question, you're looking for an honest answer.
Yeah.
If you don't want an honest answer, don't ask the question.
Yes.
Like,
but not like prompted.
You mean like unsolicited advice on weight?
Or like you're getting ready or something like, oh, hey, like I don't know if that one flatters you as much.
Again, I think it's just how you say it.
Yeah.
Like
I could not handle that.
Really?
Really?
I mean,
I'd throw a punch so fast.
I say that, but I don't.
Yeah, you haven't
have the personality.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. Yeah,
he would not do that. But I have asked him like, which is better, this one or this one, and he has given me the one that's better.
Yeah, and
I also feel like he'll tell me if something doesn't look good, but he does it like in his way. Yeah, and I know he doesn't have to say it. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's like a special closeness that you have with somebody too. I swear to God, like. If a guy said anything about my body besides you are a goddess, God bless you, I'm on my knees bowing down to you. Punch.
Okay,
punch
well,
down.
I'll have to remember to tell your future boyfriend that.
Oh yeah. And do you like this? I'm asking you because I want you to tell me yes. Because I ask my friends if I want the real answer.
Right.
Oh my God. You know what makes me so mad? When I go, oh, like, do you like this outfit? And a guy tries to give me like fashion advice.
Oh, yeah, please. Gay guy, yes. Straight man, get out of here.
I'm so sorry.
Talk to me less.
The guy that I'm seeing right now, I'm sorry. I'm going to put him on blast.
Have I met him?
Yes, you've met him.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
he was looking at like a photo of me from my photo shoot that my stylist styled, for the record. Important to note. I was wearing these like neon green boots and like heel boots and a short skirt and like a top, and the skirt and the top are like black and white basically. And I sent him the photo just to ask him just like how I looked, and he was like, the green boots are a choice. I was like, oh honey, I was not asking you about my boots. Like, you'd know.
First of all, I'm not wearing it to our wedding. Like, why do you care if my shoes are green today?
If you really think I'm going to take fashion advice, like, oh, do you think I should wear these neon green high heel boots? You think that I'm going to ask a straight man if you like my boots?
Also,
no.
Like, if it's the person I'm thinking of, said straight man wears like basketball shorts.
Exactly.
So I don't think
anything else
needs to be said about that.
So, what do you think about the statement, once a cheater, always a cheater? Have you heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it too.
I think it applies.
Have you been cheated on? Sorry, is that okay to ask?
Yeah. Yeah, I think in high school.
Okay.
But like, who hasn't? High school?
Yeah.
So that's like, that kind of is relevant to my answer. I feel like up to a certain age.
Yeah.
Like, if you cheated on someone when you were 15, I'm not going to hold you accountable for that.
Right.
You're 43.
Yeah.
But like, if you cheated on someone when you were 32 and you're 43,
right.
Yeah, I might be like,
Well, what's your thought on like the 20s? Because right now, like, we're in our late 20s or early 30s, and it's like, if I was dating somebody right now and they told me like, oh yeah, like I cheated on my first girlfriend when I was 20, what do you think about that? Actually, that has happened. The situation was, he was like, someone cheated on me. Sorry, my girlfriend at the time cheated on me, so I like in revenge or retaliation did also, like, not all the way cheat, but like a little bit, and then told her the next day and they broke up. But like, he still counts it as like having cheated.
I don't think that person should be labeled a cheater the rest of his life.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think circumstances can change it too.
I also think like a retaliation cheat feels pretty different than like, because the trust has already been broken at that point. Like, what, like,
yeah,
I'm not saying it's okay.
No,
I just think it's different.
It's kind of like, this is like so drastic and dramatic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like premeditated murder versus like
exactly
crime of passion. It's like, it happens so quickly and you're so
right.
You know,
I agree with that. So you do think people can change if it's young enough?
I do.
But if it's somebody in their 30s, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah, it just depends on the person.
I just feel like if you have the capacity to cheat, you always have the capacity to cheat. And there are people that I just feel like just literally would never do it. Would never. Like, my best friend, you know her, Stella, is like one of the most relentlessly loyal people, to the point where I'm like, isn't that guy cute? And she's like, oh, I wish my boyfriend was here. I'm like, girl, come on.
Girl, like, you're
just
fine.
think he's cute.
Chill out.
She's so loyal. Like, never in a million years would she cheat. Like, a million fucking years. Like, my ex, though, I hate to keep throwing him under the bus, but
oh no,
I would be like, do you think you'd ever cheat on me? Wanting them to be like, no, I would never. Obviously there's one right answer. And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I can't say like for sure 100% because no one ever really knows.
What do you mean?
And I think it was his way of trying to be like unbelievably honest, or he was trying to be
like transparent.
Like, yeah, well, we never know.
Okay, but that's implied. We all never know. Like, we don't know tomorrow. Like, a bomb can go off right now. Yes, I know we never know.
And you sound like me in the conversation, because I would say all this. I would literally be like,
that's implied.
Yeah, no one knows, but you're supposed to say never.
You're supposed to say absolutely not.
You don't have any fucking intentions on it. And he'd be like, well, no, I don't have intentions, but I don't know if I can say never.
That's the biggest red flag.
Oh, I know.
Possibly I've heard in a long time.
I took the cake.
Good.
I'm thinking like, not once a cheater, always a cheater, but past a certain age, it's not looking good for you.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's what I think.
Do you like PDA?
I think like to a certain degree. Like, I don't mind if a couple is like holding hands or like kissing in public, but don't.
But do you like it? I don't know if I've ever really noticed you out, like what you guys do.
We've just been together so long that like when you've been together for almost nearly a decade, you don't feel the need to like be all over each other in public anymore.
Yeah.
Especially because all of our
you
friends
do pull each other close and stuff. Like,
because of what we were talking about earlier, because of like the non-sexual form of intimacy for me is to be noticed in public and to be touched. So in that regard. But a lot of times when he touches me, you can't even tell. Because, like, he just, like, grabs my waist or something, like you said, in a crowd. And we kiss, like, hello and goodbye and stuff. I think it's time and place.
I need your advice.
Okay.
Like, do you think it's a deal breaker? Because I really like PDA, and like there's one person I was dating where I like had the best experience on a date, and he was just like, not like I don't want to be making out in front of people, but like pull me in and like hold my hand and like kiss my forehead, moments like that. Like I love that. And I got that experience with this one guy, and then I started dating this other guy. I'm not like a slut, guys, but like if I was, fuck it.
Hey, either way is fine.
And he doesn't like PDA, to the point where like it doesn't feel unnatural, but like I know because I've been on a date with someone where I like did experience PDA, where I'm like, maybe I kind of want that. Like,
how big is he on not liking it? Like, does he
like when I see him, we'll like kiss, like peck, hello, but like we're not gonna kiss ever in public.
I wouldn't make out with my boyfriend in public.
Yeah, and like we don't usually hold hands.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay.
Well,
you guys in the comments, please comment what you think too. Also, I really want your guys' input on this. Like, is this really super important?
I think that if you tell him that it's a form of love that you like need, like kind of like I do, then
you can find middle ground too.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I mean, well, like one of the reasons I need that from my boyfriend is because like he gets asked for photos sometimes,
right?
And like there's people that crowd him, and like I just like being the only one that he grabs like by the waist at the end of the evening or whatever.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Are you like making out with someone?
No, but I'm like I like always like every few minutes getting pulled in or like acknowledged physically in some way.
You'll notice like the more you go on a date with somebody, that they'll touch you when guys are around, but not when girls are around.
Whoa, T.
Every guy does it.
OM fucking G.
Every man alive. Sorry, guys. I just told one of your secrets.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't even know they're doing it.
Oh my God. That's
just human nature.
You're right. Wow.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
I know.
Fuck that.
I know it's infuriating.
Yeah.
I know.
Fuck that.
It's part of life. Yep.
I also, on the topic of just like guys I've been dating too, I have tons of questions because
of course
you're the veteran and I'm the rookie. Bad texters, like do you think you can be like when a guy's like, oh, I'm just a bad texter, like sorry I didn't get back to you?
I want to say that it's not an excuse, that like you can find time if you want to, but my boyfriend like literally does not text me back, and I know it's not because he doesn't love me or
but he calls you.
He does. He does.
So I feel like,
but if you're not close enough or dating close, like if you're not close enough to call them, if it's still weird,
then it's early,
right? Because like, and the only reason he can call me is because he's in the car going to another thing or whatever the hell he's doing. So like but if it was just texting, I wouldn't hear from him because he just has his hands in like so much stuff, and it's not that he doesn't want to talk to me.
Okay, but like early stages, you're seeing somebody, let's say they don't text you for like 48 hours. I think there's like
don't text back or don't text
back.
That's I don't.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's BS.
Why on God's green earth you don't have 48 hours to respond to a message?
Like men, like this is an actual statistic. I think it's something like men spend like 7 years of their life in total in a bathroom by the end of their life, because like they're hiding in there a lot of the time. It's under secret, and like you are probably in the bathroom like 10 times a day, sir. You can't 100%. Check your phone once and say H, hi, I.
That
hi.
Literally. Also, before bed, you're telling me you're not scrolling on your phone. You know.
Oh yeah. Or morning coffees. Get out of here.
You're watching my Instagram stories and it's been 24 hours and then you haven't texted me back.
If you see someone's story that you haven't texted back, you should probably text them back before you view their story.
Oh my God. And I have a couple of people that do this, and I'm just like, and I don't want to like be like, because I'm gonna sound crazy. I'm like, you're watching my stories.
Yeah, you can't say that, unfortunately, which is like so
fucked up,
stupid.
Yeah, because you are.
Because you literally are. But I can't say that because then you're gonna it's just crazy.
Exactly. You're like, oh, you're tapping through my Instagram story. Fuck that shit. Yeah. One more hot topic question. Should you be able to go through your partner's phone?
I think no.
Okay. Should you have the password to their phone? Is the extension?
Personally, like my opinion, no.
Okay.
But that, like, I don't know.
I agree, for the record. I don't think you should have passwords.
I don't. And like a lot of my friends follow their like track their husbands on their phone, and Caleb and I don't have each other's location. People are like, why not? And I'm like, I just don't need to know where he's at all the time. And I don't. And like, I don't need to know what's in his phone because 9 times out of 10, if you see something out of context that's not explained by the person, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. So you're really just hurting yourself. And B, if you feel the need to go through the phone, you probably should take some steps back and question why you're doing that in the first place.
I think the single worst mistake that I made in my relationship was sharing locations because, especially long distance. Because I'm like, I'll always check and be like, why the fuck are you not like, why are you here? And you're at this bar or something and you're not like, I would always just make it up in my head and answer all the questions myself. Fucking terrible. I don't think you should share locations. Have I been victim to occasionally glancing?
Listen, everyone has done it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to make a habit of it by any means. Cause I think it's like, but I think if you're having like, I'm going to say something real hot take to the girls out there. If you're nervous about whether they're being shady, fucking look at their phone. I feel that way.
I haven't been single in like such a long time. But I probably would have said the same thing.
I just feel like the worst thing, first of all, don't get caught.
Well, don't. Well, and also like this is what I tell my friends when they go through their boyfriend's phone. Do you look up like cats being tortured on YouTube? No, right? No.
Yeah, exactly.
The answer is no, because you don't want to watch things that make you sad.
Totally.
Don't go through a phone. It's going to make you sad. Totally. Prepare yourself.
Totally. Yeah.
Because then what happens is you can't tell them because you can't what you're mad about because they can't know you went through the phone. And then you harbor resentment, and 100%. Resentment ruins relationships.
Huge. And that does happen too. And I even felt guilty about it. And like, I didn't find anything when I went through it. And I feel like
that's even worse because then you feel like because at least if you find something, you're like, well,
I know,
I'm glad I did it. But when you don't find anything, you're like,
God,
wow,
even
I'm
worse.
a piece of trash. Yeah.
Oh my God. Even worse, he had been like talking about me positively to somebody too. Like
oh,
a guy.
My soul. Oh, I would literally.
It was bad.
I would one-way ticket to China for me.
I know. It was.
Whatever. You live and learn.
I live and learn, but I will say, like, and I have anxiety, so that was a perfect example of like, I wasn't like, I thought I had a gut feeling he was cheating, but like in reality, I was just anxious. So that can happen. Mm-hmm. You can think you have a gut.
The lesson to learn from that is that there was no gut feeling.
100%.
It was off.
Yes, but in retrospect, I think if you have a gut feeling, you should check it. Because what the worst that can happen is you find out. And I don't think like I was entitled then to be like, hey, by the way, I went through your phone. Don't fucking do that. Keep it to yourself. But if you feel guilty about it, that's the price you have to pay for having done it.
Although I will say, like, history tells me that every girl that has went through her boyfriend's phone does end up telling him because they get so mad about something that they cannot create.
I saw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you accidentally drop some tea and that they didn't know you know. And you're like, oh, like when you went with your family dinner on Friday, the February 2nd, he's like, how'd you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean?
You said
How was your mom's birthday?
What?
How did you know?
It was in a dream. It was in a dream. Okay. Final little segment of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I love to ask, I'm going to make this like a thing from here on out because it's called Whine and Yap. Obviously, we're talking about wine sometimes, but also like whining. What is something that you want to whine about right now?
This is really annoying, and I guess I should whine about it.
Yeah,
I can't,
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So, like, my biggest pet peeve is when businesses are closed and they forget to turn off their open sign.
Yes.
Like, and it's like illuminating in the night, and it's clearly it's clearly a business that is not open.
Yes, and you're driving down and it's dark.
And there's the open sign, and like, it just has always bothered me, and like I always notice it, and I'm like, you literally closed up an entire shop. Yeah. You put chairs onto tables.
Yeah.
Some circumstances you even put a bar through the door, and you refuse to remind yourself to pull a string by the door.
Not to mention, it's the brightest thing in the goddamn shop.
Let me just like clarify. Other lights are fine.
Yeah.
Like Corona.
It's the neon,
but it's the neon open sign that bothers me. And it also, even like back in the good old days, the open sign that is a piece of paper, can't stand that either. Turn that shit around. You do your job.
It's it. That's
your job was to close up. Close, not open. Close. And you know what?
According to us, it's not closed until that fucking sign is turned.
One day, I think it was one day in New York City, I walked by a something and they had a closed sign.
Yeah.
It was neon and it said closed, and I appreciated the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And she'll never forget it to this day.
Ever.
Too. And the key about the like, what do you want to whine about segment is that it can be totally irrational and stupid too. And I say that because I'm about to preface that my thing I want to whine about today is so stupid and I should be canceled for it.
What?
I hate Kelly Clarkson's bangs.
Her bangs?
Yeah, have you seen them?
Like, are they new or like?
She's had them like, I want to say ever since like the most recent season of like the Kelly Clarkson show. It's just aging her, and she's young and hot and talented.
Okay,
and it's upsetting me.
I'm on board with this. I'm not a big bang person,
and it's the straight bangs too.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me see. Can you pull up a photo?
I have one saved.
I'm screaming.
Okay, you're gonna get this.
Let me see that. Get out.
You
no,
get it right.
Get out of my face.
And I love her.
Absolutely not.
And if Kelly Clarkson ever sees this, I just want you to know,
Kelly Clarkson, we love you.
We
to death.
Think you are God's gift to earth.
But
These
fire
bangs
your hairdresser.
Gotta go. Bangs gotta go.
Fire your hairdresser.
Because it's giving like
the color is beautiful.
I love the color.
She doesn't need bangs. There are girls that need bangs.
Yes.
I would call out some celebrities right now, but I don't want to be mean. But some girls need bangs. She's not one of them.
I agree.
I think.
And listen, end of the day, we love you, Kelly Clarkson.
We do.
But that is what I want to whine about today. Hit us up. Let us know all your pet peeves in the comments. I think it might be fun to literally do like a whole
I really
show
think we
on
should.
pet
I was
peeves.
just thinking we should
Because
probably
I have
do
a
a whole
lot.
one on pet peeves. I
And
have
we'll bring
so
it
many.
in our like list. I'll be like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I have so many I can rant about for hours. Perfect.
I love it. Oh my
Plan.
God. Well, Celesta, it has been an absolute honor having you here.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
I can't believe we're done. Like
I know.
I feel like we just like sat here and chatted like usual. But I hope that you can come on a couple more episodes. Hopefully.
I would love to. So hopefully I'm here again.
And don't forget to subscribe and comment, obviously. Listen on Apple Music and Spotify or whatever your preferred podcast platform is. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of
This
course.
is Whine and Yap.
Yes, Whine and Yap.